Today we're going to talk about a very interesting topic, which is music, with me, Jennifer, and our special guest, Mr. Isaac DaBom.
Hi Jennifer, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, I'm good.
Okay, so Mr. Isaac, can you please introduce us yourself and your backgrounds?
Yeah, I'm a musician, I'm a music producer, and also artist, singer, and player. And I'm originally from Israel, and in the past 5 years I lived in New York City, and now I'm in Dili. Yeah,
Okay, so for how long have you been in Delhi?
2 months.
2 months,
Yeah.
just now. Okay, so as we are talking about music and you are musicians as well, so I just want to ask you what makes someone a musician?
It's a good question. I mean, first you have to make some kind of music.
Yeah.
But for me, I think it took me a little time to feel like, yeah, I can call myself a musician because I was playing guitar, I was singing, but I mean, you can say that when it becomes like your main interest, you become a musician, and yeah.
Okay, so what inspire you, like inspire you to make music?
Mm. I think I really liked music since I was young, and I just listened to the radio, and I used to have like a tape machine with cassettes, and I used to record songs from the radio. I don't know if you know this, but you could like put the cassette, and when the song you like started on the radio, you could press a button and record it, and then stop it, and then wait for the next good song and record. And I had many cassettes, and I really liked music, and I felt like I want to also make music, and I started to make music in very funny ways. Like I didn't really know how to play or to do anything, so I just would record myself on cassettes, and it started from there.
Okay, so you like music since you were a young boy.
Yeah.
So what kind of music genre did you hear for the first time and make you fall in love with music?
I think a lot of it was hip hop music
Hip hop.
and soul music,
Mm-hmm.
and but also like the pop music that was back then, which was the 90s, and yeah, and everything that was on the radio. But specifically, I think I fell in love with like hip hop and soul, R&B music, and then I started like buying CDs or even like vinyl records that of artists that I like Stevie Wonder, and different artists that really influenced me.
Okay. Okay. Another question is, have you ever have a biggest project about music?
Like my biggest project, or
Like, so you are musicians, right? So
yeah.
have you ever like having a project about music, like you having concert maybe or
Oh,
something?
I had many projects,
Mhm.
and every project is different. So sometimes it's a concert.
Mhm.
So it can be my own concert that I'm playing by myself. Sometimes I'm playing with a band, and and as a producer, I produced albums for different artists. So every project is very different. So I think, yeah, I can't say what's like my favorite project because I love all my projects, but I think playing my own music, and using a lot of like improvisation, and like trying things and just having fun is like most, I think, special for me.
Okay, so what were the challenges during your entire career in music
Mm.
and make it like very memorable for you?
I think the challenges, there's always challenges, and still there's challenges. And I think at first, like music wasn't my only job. I had another job, and then after some time, when music became my main job, I stopped doing the other job. But I don't know, the biggest challenge was probably just being able to keep doing it and never stop. Like this is always like the challenge to see like a problem, or if you're working with someone, you have a problem or you don't agree, or so it's a challenge, and then you fix it, and then there's another challenge. Like you do this song or you do a show and it's not good, and okay, so how do you take this challenge and try to make something good out of it? So no challenge was like a very big challenge, but there's a lot of little challenges. And if I try to use every challenge to go to the next one, then every challenge is not very big. You know, I don't know if it makes sense.
Yeah,
but
yeah, it makes sense, of course. Okay, so because you have been in Timor-Leste for 2 months, so what is currently you're doing here?
So I'm working from afar on a few projects on my computer, like because these days you can just produce on your computer and work from anywhere in the world. Yeah. And also I started performing here and meeting people like you and like other musicians in Timor, and I hope to do some more shows and some workshops about music. Yeah, so I hope that we'll have the details soon, but I hope to do that and meet more people and just learn more things and see like what this place has to offer and inspire me.
Okay, so what do you think about music in Timor-Leste?
I think there's a lot of very good musicians in Timor-Leste and very good music. And I think it's very interesting because everything is very, very new here. Like the music scene and the music industry, if you want to call it like that, it's very, very new. So I don't think there is like a music club in Timor-Leste. Yeah. There's restaurants and bars and people play, but there's no show like where people go and like pay a ticket and go to see their favorite band. So. Yeah. So it's different, and I feel like the future is going to go there probably, because there's a lot of people making music and making good music, and I see in the few shows that I already seen here, where they had a lot of people that come to watch, and so I feel like people really love music, and the next step is interesting to see if it becomes like more of maybe an industry or like something that musicians can really make a living and do only music. And it's going to be very interesting to see. It's a process. It might take time, but yeah, I think there's a very big potential because the music is very good.
Okay, so we also have questions for our friends from social media. So here there is 2 questions here. First is, in few words, could you explain what is music in the totality of cosmos and music exists without sound?
Okay, so it's a very deep question and philosophical, like what is music, and if music can exist without sound, it's also a very interesting question, because I think music doesn't have, I mean, it is sound, but when you play music, there's also silence inside the music. So if I'm doing this rhythm, like, I can put silence in it, like, but in the silence, is there music? There is music. There is still music. You can feel the music. And without the silence, there would be like the silence gives the space for the music to be. So I think music is everything that we decide is music. Like if I record like the cars in the street and I put it on my album, then is it music? I don't know, maybe. If I say, I say this is my music, then okay, it's probably music.
Yeah.
And there's a famous musical piece by a composer. His name is John Cage. That he did very interesting things. And one of his probably his most famous work is called 433. I think, if I'm not mistaken by the numbers, but it's 433, which is 4 minutes and 33 seconds of silence. So you come to watch the concert, and the pianist is coming and sitting at the piano, but he's not playing anything. So is that music? I say it is. Like, and I say the music is whatever you hear at that moment. And if, like what I did before with the rhythm and put the silence in there, it's part of the music. So we can play like a game and say that if I'm doing, that's music, right? So if I do, it's still music, right? So if I do, is it music?
Yeah.
It's probably still music. We can feel the music and hear the music. So it's really interesting. So I say music can exist without sound, because music is a feeling and an energy that we have. And sometimes the music is just in our head. And sometimes we walk in the street and we feel like we're dancing, right? You know that feeling?
Yeah.
And you don't have to hear the music, but it's still there. So yeah, I would say, yeah, music can be anything that we feel is music.
Sounds can be music. Yeah. Okay, another question is, what is actually hidden or embedded in the music itself? How can it be a thing or a way that can change the way of people to think, behave, dress, and imagine?
Okay, so how can music be a way to they can change like the way people think?
Yeah.
So I think music is already something that changes the way that we think and the way that we feel, because it doesn't have to be like that the music will say something like this is good or this is bad, but in a way, when you hear music, it makes you feel something. And a lot of times I think music is supposed to make you feel good.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it makes you sad or happy, or makes you have fun, or makes you like relax. It can make you feel a lot of different things, but every time it's like, I think it's a positive thing. Even if you're sad, it's like it's a positive feeling. So it's already changing the world for the better. It's doing something good for the world. And it brings people together, because if you're going to see a show and everyone is together, singing together or dancing together or listening together, it changes something. It brings people together, and it's very important thing and a very big thing, like to bring people together. And if it makes you be more kind and nice to someone who is next to you, it changes the way you think and the way you behave.
Yeah.
So this is one way that music is always changing the world. And another way is by putting a message in your music. And it can be any message. It can be music, we need to be together as people. And it can be a message, this thing is wrong. Like, for example, Bob Marley. We all know Bob Marley.
Yeah.
So he had a lot of message in his music, which is sometimes one love, and sometimes it's like resisting something bad in the world. So the message can do a lot, and because music is such a thing of love and fun, it makes you think about those things in a way that is good. Because if we talk about politics, and you say, I like this guy, I like this guy, I think this is right, I think this is right, and we have an argument, a lot of times I will still think I am right, and you will still think you are right. And with music, it's more open, I think. And we're having a good time. So we can agree or not agree, but we feel something together. And I think this is very important, and it really changes the world and changes the way people think and people treat each other, and makes the world better, I think.
Yeah. So in conclusions, music can help us to express our emotion freely, right?
Yeah, and this is another thing, that like music is an expression. So I'll feel something and I'm expressing it. It's a very beautiful way to communicate. And even me, if I'm listening to music, I get your expression and I get something from it, and I'm learning something. And if you hear my music, hopefully you are also feeling something from my expression. And my expression is not better or worse than your expression. Like everyone's expression is good.
Yeah.
And then there's a place to hear and listen, and not only argue and be mad. You know?
Okay, my last question is, do you have any advice for our friends that are currently watching this video? Do you have any message or advice to help them to become a good musician?
Yeah, I think the main message is, if you really love it, do it. Like, and if it's hard and you still want to do it, try to overcome the challenge, like we talked before. Like, see this as a challenge. Okay, I need to get over this challenge so I can keep making music, and then I have another challenge, and that's good, and it's all part of the same process. So the advice is to, if you really love it, keep doing it and try to do it, and as long as you feel good, you should keep doing it. And if it doesn't make you feel good, it's also okay. You don't have to do it.
Yeah.
But if it makes you feel good, do it, and be open to the possibility that sometimes it would work, sometimes not. And it's okay. Like also in life, sometimes we meet someone and we have fun together, and sometimes we meet someone and we fight. So music is the same. Like sometimes it's fun and great, sometimes it's hard, but if you really love it and you want to do it and you still feel you want to do it, keep doing it, and know that it's a long process. And it means, like we talked, it means something to the world. And you don't even, and like for me, I was making music before I was making money out of music, because I really love it and I just want to do it. And in Timor-Leste, I know it's probably harder to make music your only job, because everything is, like we said, is very new and young. But the music that people are making here now is very, very important, because it will be an inspiration for everyone after and everyone now. So you have to remember that you're important and what you're doing is important.
Okay, so Mr. Isaac, I'm so grateful for having an interview with you today. So you have given us a very clear overview about music. And thank you guys for watching this video. See you in the next Coffee Chat. Bye!
Thank you.
Thank you.